complements, hoppers, and Grenada paper products. Manufacturers of Royal, Horizon, and Quick and Easy paper towels and napkins.
Raise it high up the ladder, let we set it on fire. A little more calypso, forget the funk and the disco. A little more limbo, a little more shango. Find the greasy pole, and we don't dance round the maple.
Good evening once again, and welcome to We Culture. Yes, indeed, our first after a little break. Of course, we had, two breaks actually. One for the World Champs, and then Carnival, of course. And we're back, and of course, this evening we will be talking or looking back at the just concluded Carnival Festival, or Carnival celebration, so you want to put it, all right? It was after a break, COVID-19, I know there was a lot of anticipation. People were all hyped up. They wanted to play mass, wanted to have a good time. And this evening, we're talking to the cultural experts. Of course, Doc is with us, and for those of you probably joining or tuning into the program for the first time, Doc is well known for his love for culture and of course his expertise in the field. Risi, of course, also very cultural and has an excellent marketing background. So when you add these two together, you know what she can do. You can just imagine. And of course, we have with us the first Calypsonian in Grenada to win 10 Calypso Monarch titles. We're talking about the man Finley Jeffrey Scholar. Somebody said the judges was drunk, but I wasn't there, so I can't say that. So let's welcome the team after a while. Fellas, good evening and welcome back.
Well, let me say just good night, and to all the listeners there, Goddfrey, and of course to my colleague, just good night, and to all the listeners there, Goddfrey, and of course to my colleague, just good night, and to all the listeners there, Goddfrey, and of course to my colleague, just good night, and to all the listeners there, Goddfrey,
Something going wrong. Doc, what happened by you there? I don't have any other audio. Alright, let's try again. Doc, let's try again.
You hear me?
You're very good now. Yes.
Well, I think first thing first, let me just congratulate my colleague on his 10th victory, 10th championship in the Calypso world. I think that is in order. My brother, I salute you, and I salute you long time ago for the repertoire that you bring to the fore. The crown, just see that all what I saw a long time ago is actually coming to fruition. So I want to say that. On another note, I can't help Goddfrey. I agree with the listeners outside. I can't help. A couple of years ago, I was bombarded for going to Sutton, with my long sleeve shirt and thing. And I just remember just this year distinctively, I see our king with a sweatsuit. And Tuesday was such a hot day in Sutton. So I don't know if it's the crown that had him cold, but my brother, congratulations, and it's good to have you with us. I know you bring a lot to the fore. So as we go, I guess, more people would congratulate you because that is in order. But I had to bring up the idea with the long sleeve on a hot Jubilee morning in Sutton. I just couldn't do it.
Well, I think, Doc, it's my partner, so I have to jump to the defense. There's a difference between a long sleeve shirt and you see, everything about that long sleeve shirt in effect is wrong. So I'm coming to the defense earlier. so sweatshirt that could work. Men does wear sweatshirt to go out. You see, the thing is, if the man going off it, he expect to sweat.
That like Goddfrey.
I know you like see the picture.
Let me put it that not a sweat thing. That is, you know them very, very slim.
You call it go dry.
Whatever it
go dry.
It's white, and on top of that is the best thing for hot sun, you know. It is very thin in terms of the material, so you can compare that with the big old plaid shirt. The big old plaid shirt with all them buttons and them are quite up below your neck. No. You come last day. But let me say good night to everybody. Good night to the team. You know, it's a pleasure being here. We had a nice big break, but we are back, and I think there's so much culturally that we could speak about, and we will have to speak about as it relates to Carnival. Things that are good, things that are bad, things that are indifferent, all kind of things. I mean, surprisingly this year, I saw Rishi playing a job with no black. I mean, I don't understand what stupidness is that. Hand, head, and
that
no
still happen?
Black. Let me tell you something, Rishi. Job is black. You
that still happen? Man they ban and mining woman business?
No, I don't ban mining woman business. Woman putting she business on Facebook, so I watching woman business. I don't understand how woman could be in band playing tab with no black, with hand on head. So job I'm so loyal to the Guava job. I couldn't play the job in Togo, you know. That's so loyal I am to the Guava job. I was in Togo.
Well, I see two girls job fighting to sing a Guava tune. I am a job tune, but I ain't calling him. So is that? It's just that.
That was 2019. They were the bad.
I don't know. I just see two girls job trying a thing. I don't know if it's 20 watt or 20 watt. But of course, you know, we welcome all our listeners, you know, and our viewers back, our Facebook friends, YouTube, wherever you are. It's good to be back. And of course, we're talking Carnival tonight. And let me join Doc 2 on the program to congratulate my good partner, you know, Finley, on his 10th Calypso Monarch. He has worked hard, and finally, you know, he has gotten to double figures, you know.
Record.
Yeah, but let me just say that here and now, they still have alcohol money for him. You know what I mean? You know, I ain't saying nobody thief. I just saying they have alcohol money for him. So anyway,
okay.
That's that.
But when we congratulate Scholar, I just want to somebody echo a sentiment on the final night Thursday. You see, they have never seen a nurse looking so well in the uniform now.
I think handling with pay.
They have never seen a nurse.
A midwife.
There's a difference. Well, I don't find.
They say that man looking so well.
You see. I would take
it was the boobs for me. It was the boobs for me. The boobs. It was the boobs for me.
Boy, the wig. That I don't know who wig he borrowed, but that wig work.
I'm not so sure if you won in the Calypso competition, no, but that suit. Actually, George is totally off.
Yeah, the man get points for clothes. The man get points for clothes.
And then back in the day, you know.
Breast looking good. Have a wig well fit. I don't know where.
Listen up. Hold on. Let me tell you. Somebody tell me. After the first round, the demanding the thing, you know, is after when the nurse come on stage, they say the judges didn't score, you know, when they realize the man finish, they just write down thing, you know. Force that close, get their attention. Do you know what it is?
Yeah, man, that nurse outfit beat all that fight. I mean, that's the best.
And you don't hear they calling us and say, Nurse Jeffrey?
What's that? I'm waiting to comment one time.
Yes.
Say, is the Georgette for me, yes? She white like Caracou snow.
Right. Let me tell you something. I'll be honest with you. The amount of nose clothes I had, I could have weighed anything, you know. I mean, I gathered some nose outfit. I had about 15 seconds.
You had blue, mauve, all kind of thing too?
No, man. All white. But white with all kind of different thing. So I had mini skirt with bodies, long skirt with bodies. I had dress with long split come up white up below. But I tell you, I had so much things. I mean, then I even had about 3 or 4 no shoes. You know. So I had things to choose. I mean, I had about 4 or 5 different wigs.
Well, we don't know is Diane that take care of things. We don't know.
Well, who else is else?
Yeah.
But before we go into the whole carnival, I know people are excited. But Finley, 10 crowns after 1993, you came on. It's 2022, a lot of other years. 10 crowns. I know it was a long journey, but how you felt that night when the judges announced the decision and they say, well, we're calling the last 3 Calypsonians on stage, and what was going through your mind that time?
Well, you won't believe, you know, because the Calypso finals is right in my house. So most of the Calypso finals I spent it in my house, you know. I mean, it's the best thing that could have happened to me. So I listening fellas because I knowing all what's going on, and then I walking from my house going to the park, sing first round, and then walk to come back. So when the second round was finished, I all these set of clothes and things, because mind you, I walk with all my nurse suit and all my thing. So I was bringing back my outfit and so on. So I took my van and loaded it up. I came here, I dropped some stuff, and then I came back to get the rest, you know. Not knowing, because I was hearing Wizard singing from here. Not knowing that they stopped Wizard and they calling out results, you know. So it's a good thing I entered inside the park. And when I entered inside the park, next thing I heard a man call, and they call it in a funny way. They didn't say, they called the second place this time.
Oh, okay.
Before the monarch. So next thing I entered, I heard second place, Richmond Kelly.
And then you realize, well, okay, Jim.
And then I realized, well, because I didn't know who come nothing. So I went to get crown and so on with all my keys in my hand, my phone, I had everything. So there was no time to really digest and to feel or to wonder what really happening. But in sum total, by 10 times, I would be honest, when I started, if anybody told me that I would win 3 crowns, I would have been comfortable with that, you know. So it's a splendid achievement. And what is even better is that I am the Calypsonian who has placed the most second place in Grenada history as well.
Right.
Not only king, but second too. People don't believe Wizard is the king of second, but I'm the king of second. I'm from the most second place in Calypso, 9.
10 crowns, 9 seconds.
9 seconds. Huh?
10 crowns, 9 seconds.
10 crowns and 9 seconds. And the 9 seconds are some of them, a lot of them are even more important to me than the crowns, because those were the years when I learned. Those were the years. You have some years I learned some hard lessons. I lose crowns 3 times by 1 point.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so I have some records in Grenada that I ain't sure could break. You know, wow. And those were the times when I learned the most lessons. You see, so by 28 years, 24 times, because he have 4 times that we twice with COVID, then twice I didn't sing. 24 times, 10 titles, 9 seconds. I mean, what more I could ask for?
Right. 1 Soca Monarch, 1 Groovy.
1 Soca Monarch, 1 Groovy, 1 Independence. No road match. I'll never win a road match. That's the only blemish on my score card.
How much last you come? You ever come last?
Nah, I never come last. I come 8.
Like two before last.
2 before last, but yeah, I came 8. I think a bit bubbler.
And Randy?
Randy, well, you are Randy already in that lineup. But the truth is that year, I finally come last. They did for me that year.
Oi!
Big bubbler for sure.
That reminds me of a year with Killer 2, 2007.
Yeah, I didn't bubbler. And mind you, me I did make myself stupid, because coming from the semi-finals, I came first. And then I go from the semi-finals to the finals and I change my song.
Oh.
And I sing one piece of stupidness. The band don't play good, nothing happen good. And I come last. And they had pity on me, and then of course soca. Remember the first time I entered soca, I also came one before last. I beat Super Terry by 1.3.
We had like 16 or 18
No man, we had about 17 people. I could tell you soca men that beat me that night, you will be shocked at the kind of soca men that beat me that night. Teacher Eddie.
with Samantha? No, but Eddie, no, but hold on. Eddie had a good tune that year. Eddie had Samantha. That was a bad tune.
Eddie said he can't put on Calypso.
It's so good.
Eddie beat me that year. Porsuela beat me that year. After that year, I said, never me again in soca.
Anyway, guys, Calypso, if we continue there, that's going to just go on. But I wanted to kind of take a look back. So, I mean, coming from COVID, it was, we know how difficult it was. And 2 years after Carnival. Doc, and I'm going to start with you. What's your perception of the celebration after 2 years of not being able to celebrate Carnival?
I think we really relapsed. We made a major mistake in not using the 2 years to go to the drawing board. And so we attempted this Carnival as if we didn't have no institutional knowledge. We were not aware of what was going on. So that is my take. Calypso lovers would always be Calypso lovers. Carnival lovers would always be Carnival lovers. Irrespective of what rain or shine, some people would play jab. Organized or not, they would be jab. There are some persons, no matter what treatment would be meet, the Calypso or the Calypso fraternity, or there would be some people that would always go to the Calypso shows, as well as I think they are same like soca lovers. So people going to the shows, to me, it is not enough. But I think that this year, the Spicemas Corporation allow a lot of unnecessary controversy. Unnecessary because they were not able, or they did not do any planning. And I thought they missed a golden opportunity in 2020 and 2021 to sit down and revisit and to think and to plan and to put things in perspective. So people went in the shows and people went under protest. They went because they didn't want to miss that year. They went because they wanted to hear their favorite Californian in progress back. Given the chance, they wanted to protest, but they couldn't protest because they so much wanted to hear. And this year, mind you, I believe that this year, and it's comparable to almost any other year I can remember. I've been following Calypso a long time. In terms of the quality of Calypsos, I heard this year. I thought, with the space of time coming out after the election, I don't know if it's the election I give them all this material, but I believe that the Calypso this year was really on top. So people went because of the quality, irrespective of the mishap. And I know we are going to go into details just now in some of the mishap, but also I believe that with this lack of planning, what happened with Spicemas, to me, they took on the mindset that they need to bring in some revenue. And instead of being creative, I think they start to sell out part of our franchise and the right for them to put on shows to bring in the necessary joy and happiness, and the focus became on how they could salvage funds. Maybe they were short on funds and they wanted to bring in more funds, but to me, they forget that the mandate was to preserve Carnival for the Grenadian people. In a nutshell.
Right. Risi?
Okay, so I don't have a perception, but I have just some thoughts, and I don't sit on the Spicemas Corporation. As a matter of fact, I don't sit on any boards that are related to culture in any way, but from where I sat, I too share that, there was more that we could have done during the years that we had the break. But at the same time, I believe that we had to more look at not just about the big national carnival, but about what happens in the towns and parishes. How is it that we could have go in there and try to strengthen, try to work out the committee issues, because there seem to be a lot of committee issues throughout Grenada where these parish carnivals are concerned. So I thought that it was an opportunity, since we were not going anywhere, we were right here, it was an opportunity to work with these parish carnivals to get it to that point. Now, I believe that the SMC probably had spent time wondering what they were going to be doing, what kind of carnival they're going to be having, whether it is a blended carnival, because remember, it was only until, I think it was the 4th of March or the 4th of April or somewhere there, 4th of April, the mandates were no more. I had attended a workshop, a session that had happened involving Spicemas on the 8th of January, and the discussions in there was about what kind of carnival we're going to have. There was a lot of talk about vaccinated carnival, blended carnival, and how is it that they're going to manage that. So I think with COVID being new, and with us not being, prior to COVID, a very organized body, I think that this whole COVID situation just added more pressure, and maybe they were not looking at trying to dissect it. What is it that we can do? If we're not sure as to what kind of carnival that we are having, how is it that we can look at the whole infrastructure, the groups, fine-tuning what is it that the parishes are known to produce, and how is it that you can strengthen it? How is it that you can work on, the pan bands, having more pan bands in the parish? Like those kind of, in other words, developing the product as opposed to focusing on showcasing the product. I think the 2 years we could have worked on that. So, what we're seeing today is a product of what we did and what we didn't do.
Okay. Scholar, before...
We lost some opportunities, definitely.
Right. Okay. Scholars, before I come to you, let's just take this short first break, and we're going to come back. So, stay with us, folks. We'll be back in just a moment.
A little more calypso, forget the funk and the disco. A little more limbo, a little more.
When a loved one passes on, we all need the comfort, support, and guidance of a trusted friend. You can rely on LaCour Brothers Funeral Home. We provide a personalized professional service that exceeds all expectations. Our dedicated staff responds to your every need with the greatest detail, ensuring affordability with a variety of options. Our upgraded state-of-the-art facilities, spacious air-conditioned chapel with live internet streaming, a modern, environmentally safe crematorium, the only of its kind on island. Private viewing spaces, large on-site repast center, a modern transportation fleet. Join our burial society today and make personalized arrangements for that final moment as you prepare to enter your loved one into eternal rest. Visit or call LaCour Brothers Funeral Home and select a package that brings added comfort to the entire family. LaCour Brothers Funeral Home and Burial Society, continuing a tradition of excellence.
If there was ever a time to keep and stay healthy, it's now! We at Hills and Valley are here to help you take deliberate steps to maintain your health. We stayed true to maintaining the most comprehensive rates while stocking the widest range of medicines and health devices, including personal protective equipment. There are so many benefits shopping with us. You get great savings through discounts for senior citizens and reward cards for loyal customers. Ask about owning yours today. Visit us at Halifax and Grenville Street, St. George, Jubilee Street opposite the Grenville Bus Terminal, and at Hillsborough, Carriacou. Our wholesale distribution on Halifax Street also stocks the widest range of pharmaceuticals. We are with you on the hills and in the valleys. We are Hills and Valley Pharmacy.
When you need your prescription filled or you require non-prescribed medication, supplements, or all your personal needs, visit Gittins Healthcare at locations on Wall Street, Grand Anse, Victoria Street, Grenville, and Central Deputy Street, Wharf. Gittins Healthcare aims to provide an exceptional personalized pharmacy experience. Additionally, children under 5 and adults 55 years and over will enjoy 10% discount on purchases of $20 and over on prescription medication. Stop settling for less. Visit Gittins Healthcare, where your health is our priority.
Hubbard's is giving away loads of prizes with Live Free for 1 year 3.0. Same promotion, more prizes to be won. Spend $50 or more at any Hubbard's department and receive a chance to win big every 2 weeks. Free fuel for 1 year. Free cooking gas for 1 year. Cash savings account from the Grenada Cooperative Bank Limited. Free electricity for 1 year. Free Coca-Cola for 1 year. Free property insurance for 1 year. Free drinks for 1 year. Free lunch packages from the Creative Chef. 1 free gas cooker. Free internet and cable for 1 year. And free groceries for 1 year. Promotion runs from April 28 to September 16, 2022. Live Free for 1 year 3.0 is brought to you in part by Chief Brand Products, Grenadian General Insurance Company Limited, Carib Breweries, Danny, Flow, Creative Chef, Grenlex, Supreme Bleach, Promos, Sol, Dutch Lady, Coca-Cola Grenada Bottling Company, Grenada Cooperative Bank Limited, and the Food Fair Supermarket. Terms and conditions apply.
Raise it high up the ladder. Let we set it on fire. A little more calypso. Forget the funk and the disco.
Welcome back everyone. It's We Culture. Those of you just joining us, we welcome you, and of course those of you joining us for the first time, we welcome you as well. So Skulls, I think we can all agree that more could have been done to better the product that we had in 2022 as it relates to Carnival. But I just want to kind of go back a little bit. To start, and of course, let me say up front, I have to agree with Doc that in 2020 and 2021, it was a good opportunity to put some things in place, do some reflecting, look at what we had and what we were hoping to achieve, and use these 2 years to put things in place so that we can, roll out a nice product. So that is a given. I agree there. But the beginning of the year, one, there was uncertainty as it relates to what may have happened with COVID-19, and because they were talking about a sort of scaled down Carnival initially, and then not long after the announcement was made that we were going all out. And once that was done, then there was also, and we should not forget that the whole election thing was in people's minds, although election was not yet announced, and so. and then we had the launch of Carnival, and then perhaps the election date was announced. So there were a lot of little factors in between there. Skulls, we also know that as it relates to Calypso, I think this year more than any other year, Spicemas had a series of judging workshops and things like that. I hope I'm correct with that. But do you think, with all the little ups and downs in the first part of the year, first quarter of the year, could have sort of created a little issue for Spicemas as it relates to the final product?
You put everything in a nutshell. That's basically what happened. Now, I'm not saying that Spicemas would have been better had those things not happened and had there not been those uncertainties. Because the truth is that Doc say they should go back to the drawing board and whatnot. Carnival committees in Grenada are the only body that does go always going back to the drawing board, and they don't draw nothing. The drawing board is not to draw nothing. They don't go to the drawing board watch it and say they go to the drawing board, and they come back. They come back and do the same nonsense they do before. So I don't think that 2 years in the drawing board would have helped Spicemas one bit. So that's one. But of course we had the uncertainties, and I think the election was called in a real bad time. And it affected the music. I know that it affected the preparation of the mass players, so that we had a lot of things, for example, this year not being judged. I mean, you had there was no king and queen of the bands, as they would usually would be. All Monday night mass and all this kind of thing, and them never was judged. And the soca artists, so many soca artists did not take part. The music, which sets the tone for Carnival, really.
It was late.
There was such a big void because a lot of the artists concentrated on the first Carnival, which was the election. I mean, them men tough day. So by the time them men come out from that, they barely full. You know, them men have to wait for the belly to lighten up, and by the time they get light, Carnival already on, people. So that would have placed a definite damper on the thing. But I think that is also correct in that there was no developmental work that was done. I mean, look, Barbados, for example. Barbados, in the years that there were no Carnival, they did some heavy developmental work. So that this year, Barbados had a nice Carnival. I mean, they came back with a bang because they had been complaining over the years that S was going down, was going down, and they did some work, and so they came back with the cartoon and some of those old traditional things. So what is happening this year, and I think this is probably the most disappointing for everybody, really, was that the traditional aspects of Carnival, what we know at Carnival, and what makes, if you ask somebody what is Carnival, what makes Carnival, what they will tell you that make Carnival, those things were not concentrated on this year at all. As a matter of fact, those things were left to just fight for themselves. And what we had happening this year was more festival kind of thing. The fetes took prominence, and all the big boat ride and so on, until we end up with boat with thing doing all kind of thing. I understand that the Soca Monarch this year was fully patronized, while on the same night they had a big boat ride with hundreds of people going. So it seemed as though a lot of people boycott the Soca Monarch to win boat. So there were the private things took precedence this year, and if ever there was a year, if we could name Carnival, they used to name Carnival the year of 100,000 job.
Yeah, uniquely rooted in our cultural traditions.
Yeah, this kind of
Spicemas, home of
This year was the year of the private fet. Simple. You could have encapsulated it like that. This was the year of the private fets, and nothing else really got the attention that it deserved. And that, I think, was the most disappointing thing, if ever, about the carnival this year.
But I'm sensing, Scholar, and I agree with you. But I am a little worried that there could be some dangers there. Because if people who patronize all these private fets, if they felt satisfied and they were quite happy, because someone was saying to me, even Juve was not like it used to be. You had a lot of people who just came from some other fets, some of them half sleep, half drunk, and they just come. And so if people felt satisfied and happy with this private fet, I'm wondering if we didn't set a bad precedent for carnivals to come.
I'm wondering though, because I've heard that Juve was good everywhere else but St. George's. That is the sentiment I'm getting. Everywhere else except St. George's.
I mean, I can't say in terms of crowd. I can tell you from what I saw on social media. I know the St. David Juve, they looked really good. And that's what I saw on social media.
Good. Yeah, in terms of crowd.
Because I've been hearing this argument or this discussion about what other people enjoy and what other people might like and other people might have choices, etc. But seriously, man, we have a product and we have to decide what we do with this product.
No, of course.
So it's not about the choices for other individuals. If we have a product and we have to defend it, and if we have to do things for its development, then so be it. And if that means relegating the private show to less status, and elevating our traditional mass, or having marshals on the street to ensure that there's a progression of the bands and they can finish before 12, for example, like the Monday night should finish before 12. Or you cannot have a band like on the street in Juve, one band here and a whole hour before you see the next band. If we don't have marshals, if we do not pay attention to those things and then, I mean, where are we going? To me, I believe that the focus has to be on how can we, and this has nothing to do with money. It's just a vision, just how we think, how we could up the art form.
Yes.
So what can we do to
agree with that.
What can we do to better it? It's not about money, it's about putting some vision and some thoughts into developing our carnival product and say what matters. So, okay, we have the finals and you're telling me on a super night, you know, the private boat, you have a boat and the boat could compete because some people might want to go on a boat. Well, yeah, November, there is December, there is this September, there's October, they can go on the private boat.
But Doc, but let me just show you this. Because from all reports, the Calypso Monarch competition, in terms of people who patronize the show, it doubled as compared to what was before. And yes, there could always be a lot more people, but there was another private event on that night. Are you satisfied? Because I know you were one of the persons who.
Goddfrey, I was making my point.
I'm coming back to you. I just wanted to actually, based on what you were saying, I just wanted to put that out. The fact that there was another show or another private event on the same night with the Calypso show, but yet still the Calypso show did better than it did previous years in terms of the support. So I was just asking whether or not is that because of the movement to St. Andrew, or is it because that the Calypsos were that good that people had to be there? I mean,
Goddfrey, how did you come up with that it did better?
No, I specifically said in terms of the amount of people that supported.
And how did you come up with that?
Well, from all reports, that's what's been said.
Okay, well, all reports.
Even some of the news reports.
Because I am not yet convinced that we had more people. Maybe we had more people than the year before, but in general, I'm not yet convinced that in the finals, because when you have a change of venue where one is so much more confined than the other, crowds look bigger in more confined spaces than they do in wider spaces. When I go to the Mardi Gras in the stadium, you have people sitting all over the stadium, top, bottom. They're choosing where they go and sit, and some are in the front, some are on the ground. So I'm not yet convinced that we had more people. If I get the stats, then okay. But I'm not yet convinced that we had more people.
Doc, before I come back to you, Skulls, what you have to say about that?
He had more people. Then people receive talking about in the stadium when I see them all so and so they don't come in the Mardi Gras. They come in the stadium. Because if you come in the stadium and don't come in the Mardi Gras, the stadium is that big. But in my let me just say it like that. For the last 15 years or so, is the best the Mardi Gras that I've ever sung. In terms of people, in terms of intimacy, in terms of response, in terms of things. I don't care what you say, you see, and I will contend.
The venue allows for it.
I will contend, right. So everybody that came to Progress Park came to the Mardi Gras.
I agree.
Not everybody that going in the stadium going in the Mardi Gras.
That is not true. That is not true.
Anyway, so let me come back to you now.
Stella, why did they go to the stadium?
Why they go to the stadium?
Yeah.
God, just like the
stadium. You know, every say they want to choose what seat they want.
Yeah, they do. They do.
Doc, let me give you let me give you an example of that, Doc. You have people, well, who, for want of a better word, come to Legends in concert, and they can't tell you who sing or who don't sing. Since they come to the outside by the bar, fetting.
They don't come in
There is a growing trend, not just Legends or Calypso. I mean, you ever see people well dressed to go to funerals? And they never see the coffin, they see the husband by the rum shop.
Well,
these things are about to political meetings in particular. You see that a lot. But let me go back to
so coming back to you. So I was making the point that just making the comparison, because we were talking about some of the private events competing, and then I just brought in the whole issue of the Calypso competition, and also having competition the same night with a private event.
So I am not here to rule out totally that there should not be a competing. But I believe it should be at a level that you have to pay homage to what is ours. And what is ours, there are certain things that is grand event, and there are certain things that is national event. Our national events must take precedence, and it must be guarded, and it must be protected, and it must not be open to it must not be open to competition. Yeah, so that is our carnival time. Now, you're talking about, some people might say there's a boat, there's a boat ride and people must have the choice to go, or choices to go wherever they want. And I'm saying, fine, you have other months in the year. So why don't you organize a boat ride for September? Or for November? Or in January? This is a time designated for us to help preserve what is uniquely ours. And as far as I'm concerned, it needs a lot of development. And while it is growing, we have to protect it and feed it so that it would grow. And this open competition, as far as I'm concerned, is not necessary. Again, Scholar make the point, it was like a festival for private events. This year was when the private people ruled. And if Spicemas just have to think forward about our product and thinking about how can we promote, develop our product. And this must take precedence. That's the only time of the year we really have that kind of setting. And their mandate is to preserve and to protect and to help grow this product. So the competition was at the level, it was too much. It was too much for and we were all over the place. It's like Spicemas behaving like like their subsidiary, like the sublet thing. So you have the one like there was a franchise, like so you say KFC, so you set up a KFC here, you set up KFC there, and the franchising, they're letting up anybody. Any family can come and get a share, because this is Spicemas product. And they forget that Carnival is not for Spicemas. Carnival not even for the government. Carnival product is for the people. It's street theater. Yes, you had the JCs and the other portals that was taking place of organizing the competition for Calypso before. Now we have a body organized by the government that started during Gary that is now doing that. But the role is to protect, and I'm not so sure they did enough in ensuring that they carry all the money.
Okay.
That's not only that, you know. The Spicemas cooperation legislation gives the Spicemas the responsibility to determine who has what.
Yeah.
And I believe that's what this is enshrined in there for. So Spicemas could regulate. Yes. And instead of Spicemas regulating who have what,
they charging people for but not only that. I mean, a lot of to me, there are a lot of unnecessary things that Spicemas go after, rather than focusing on. I mean, look, okay, and we're talking about all the private shows. You understand? Somebody want to have. If you're having a wedding and you decide to bring out DJs, must want to charge you for that, you know. I mean, to me, I don't know. But anyway, Reese, let's take. I notice we have quite a few comments on Facebook. Let's take a few comments from our Facebook folks.
Okay. So we have well, a lot of people complimented Scholar on his wig and
yes.
You know, we'll bypass that. We want to say Zavid Sales is saying congratulations to all the young pan players who took part in Panorama. And Zavid, congratulations to Angel Haps. You guys, the juniors won Kiddies Carnival, and the seniors came second. Comancheros came first. So congratulations to all the parents who took part. Delia is saying, Scholar, you are my whole Calypsonian. Zavid is saying we could have done much better, and he's talking about the product that we put out this year. Hannah is saying that she likes this panel. Navea Susu Newman is saying, yes, Mr. Nelson, I am always impressed with your perspectives on things. She's also saying, so true in St. Patrick's, no committee, no money, no one knows if the money made Ligaroo and choose never to return. Delia is saying, if it was NNP in government, either they would have had no carnival, or it would have been virtually, since they were doing everything virtual. Let's see, we have Cynthia and I wants to know what's wrong with your hand, Goddfrey. Tell us about that after.
I job.
I'm going to tie you up. Michelle is saying that don't make no sense because Carnival launched before election call. They say some things were not going to be judged. Let's see, we have Aaron saying, true Mr. Jeffrey, private fet got more precedence. Val John is saying that show on Sunday in the stadium should have never happened. Delia is saying there should be no private shows on Carnival days. Val John, they kill the culture this year. Too much fet, especially foreign. Andrea is saying SMC only shows during the entire Carnival week. Just my honest opinion, too many private or foreign fets competing with Spicemas shows. Fitzroy saying the Carnival Committee is supposed to decide what takes place during the Carnival period. Any private person have to get permission from the Carnival Committee to have any event. I guess that's the legislation that Scholar was alluding to. Val John is saying most of the people were outside, and he's talking about the Calypso Monarch. Rose Charles is saying, do you have the numbers to verify? Right. Yeah, do you have the numbers to verify that fact? Venue is smaller. I agree with Reese. Andrea is saying, I'm really looking forward to the March Gras back in the stadium. What can we do to regenerate people's interest? Nah, can't have the March Gras on Thursday period. Might be Jeudi Gras. If I remember how to spell Thursday. Yes, you are correct, Andrea. Cynthia is saying, agree about funerals. That has to stop. Delia is also saying, some people doesn't support the March Gras. That's why it was a good choice to move it to St. Andrews. Cynthia is saying Carnival season should be for Carnival-related activities. Rose Charles, this was not Carnival. It was a foreign party festival. Andrea is saying for the next few years, SMC only shows during Carnival Week. Let's get back on track with boosting the product. Patricia Hippolyte, I quite agree with Doc. No private shows during a certain period. Neris Johnson said SMC needs to get on the ball now. Our annual carnival is over. Start working on the upcoming year theme date of traditional events. So when a promoter apply for a date to host an event, the SMC or whoever can decline respectfully early. Delia is saying Ali Gill needs to step down. It's about time. Glenda Thompson is saying, I'm wondering if a popular foreign artist is invited to perform on the Dimanche Grand Night, if there will be a better crowd. Grenadians gravitate to foreign artists. These private shows should not take place during the weekend of Carnival. We do not value our history and culture. And that's what I'm seeing for the
Facebook. Let me just look quickly here on the WhatsApp platform. Someone says, looking back at Carnival, let me just open my paper here. Right, looking back at Carnival, some people were thinking that the PM should not be participating in Carnival and the other PMs were not doing. But my opinion to that is that was not the first time that he's doing that, and because he's playing, that doesn't make him a bad man. He still knows what is good for the nation. Someone says, too many private shows before Carnival, promote Calypso tents in each parish, no foreign artists during Carnival. All right, so that's
Goddfrey, I'd like to say something. We knock the fits that are not necessarily considered our traditional carnival celebrations of what we consider to be our carnival product. But we can argue that the white fits, the themed fits, are fastly becoming part of our culture. It is expected. It calls out large crowds. Now, my opinion on this is that we have to own our product. We have to know what the limitations are. We have to understand our audience, and we have to work with our product to grow the thing, make it better, and make it more attractive. So, for example, I believe, and maybe Will Cambridge might message me after this, but I am a firm believer, I'm firm on the opinion that Pre-Day should be moved out of the Carnival Week. From Emancipation Day, which is the day of the jab, Tuesday should be an SMC Carnival show, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So based on what I saw with the Calypso on the Thursday, Wednesday can be Queen Show, Thursday can be Calypso show. I like the idea of what was suggested for the Dimanche Gras. But if it's done properly and it's done according to plan, I think Grenadians would really gravitate towards that Dimanche Gras, because it puts them back in that venue where they get ready to go to Juve after and all of that. So I don't have a problem with the shift in the Calypso show to Thursday. And Cynthia, I think it was, that was asking about the Jeudi Gras. What it is that we still have Dimanche Gras, and you don't call Thursday Jeudi Gras, you just call it Calypso show. Simple as that. So that is my whole thing on the Carnival Week. We should own that. When it comes to like the theme, the fete, that is just one of the ways in which we can actually try to see if maybe we might get more people attending. One, there isn't another option. And two, maybe if you theme one of the carnival shows, like this year we are wearing red for Calypso show, you come out themed, you have, you're wearing some color for the Soca Monarch, and get people into their themed outfits for those shows as well, because it seems like they like the shows, But to me, we have ample opportunities to have some of these themed shows, the non-SMC, non-traditional kind of carnival events before the week and after the week.
Okay.
That's my opinion.
Scott, hold on, Doc. Hold on. I want to get Scott's opinion on something, Doc. I'll come to you. Scholar, we made some good points, but I think sometimes a lot of these things, yes, we would like to see it better, but I think it goes deeper and further than just moving shows. And I am in support of putting a lot more effort into our national events. But Scholars, here is this. A huge part of the support for our carnival has to do with a lot of our nationals coming home for carnival. And they play a major role in economic support. I am wondering, without these people, can our economy support that? Do we have the capacity as locals only to support these kinds of shows which Ricci's right about has become part of our culture? Even the pre-day on the Wednesday is now almost becoming part of our culture. But I am wondering if as Grenadian nationals, remember, it's a percentage of the population that are actually directly involved in carnival. We have a very small population. Very, very small population. Scholars, I want to get your take on that. I mean, can our population or that percentage support all of these events within that short period of time without having our nationals coming in? And my reason for saying that has to do with when these people, one, can get their vacation or plan their vacation.
Well, that had always been a challenge. We're speaking about the thing easy, but it's not simple.
That's the feeling I have.
Not simple. It has always been a challenge. On top of which, remember the week that we're speaking about, which is the week before, is also the week of Barbados, Antigua,
yes,
Caribana, and all of those things. So the artists that the promoters would want to attract may not be available, or there is a big competition for it. And then of course you hit the nail, both you and Ricci, because the thing has become such a staple now that moving it will cause problems. And then you have to remember that when the carnival was moved to August as the last summer festival, really, it was not to attract Grenadians in Guave and Victoria and Sortes and things. It was to attract people outside, right? And we're seeing now that not just the diaspora Grenadians, but people from all different nationalities come to Grenada. I mean, the Caribbean tourists in our carnival has become even more now, almost than the North American and English and so on. I mean, they come in droves from Trinidad and Barbados and wherever, because there is this pool, because of the fact that it's the last hurrah before the last carnival, basically. So you have that, and we must, of course, extend and give them the diet. So it is not a simple thing as it looks, and when things become so entrenched, they become much more difficult to move. But of course, we have to find a way. We must find a way to because no matter what, there's nothing that says that these people who come cannot fall in love with our traditional business from the Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and we can see people coming in droves to the Mardi Gras or whatever. They fall in love with what we give them, basically. So if we say you have white on Saturday and so on, they know that, they come to that, they look expectantly for that. But that doesn't mean that they wouldn't look expectantly for the Soca Monarch, the Mardi Gras or whatnot, if we protect those things. We can't say don't have white. Let's have white, let's have free, let's have things. But the conversation needs to begin and needs to take place in earnest as to where would they best serve the carnival product? Because we have to remember, at the forefront of everything else, when we think about carnival is a cultural expression.
It is.
And our cultural expressions have been stifled.
Yeah. Let's take our final break. And Doc, when we come back, we'll come to you, and then we need to go to the telephone because the line is definitely going. So we take a short break and we'll be back in a moment, folks. Stay with us.
WeatherGuard Pro. For every project, there's only one Pro. Have you heard about the new Soft Weave bathroom tissue with total hygiene? As hygiene and safety have taken center stage, our bathroom tissue is now manufactured with 3 different technologies to offer the best protection for you and your family. UVC light technology for a safe and effective disinfection process, eliminating 99.9% of microorganisms. Also, production at high temperatures, killing all types of germs and bacteria. And it's pH controlled with delicate fibers to prevent irritation for even sensitive skin. Soft Weave Total Hygiene Bathroom Tissue. Available in supermarkets and shops island-wide. Visit Soft Weave Caribbean Facebook or Instagram pages for more information.
Hubbard's is giving away loads of prizes with Live Free for 1 year 3.0. Same promotion, more prizes to be won. Spend $50 or more at any Hubbard's department and receive a chance to win big every 2 weeks. Win! Free fuel for 1 year. Free cooking gas for 1 year. Cash savings account from the Grenada Cooperative Bank Limited. Free electricity for 1 year. Free Coca-Cola for 1 year. Free property insurance for 1 year. Free drinks for 1 year. Free lunch packages from the Creative Chef. 1 free gas cooker. Free internet and cable for 1 year. And free groceries for 1 year. Promotion runs from April 28 to September 16, 2022. Live Free for 1 year 3.0 is brought to you in part by Chief Brand Products, Grenadian General Insurance Company Limited, Harry Breweries, Danny, Flow, Creative Chef, Grenlex, Supreme Bleach, Promos, Sol, Dutch Lady, Coca-Cola Grenada Bottling Company, Grenada Cooperative Bank Limited, and the Food Fair Supermarket. Terms and conditions apply.
Raise it high up the ladder. Let we set it on fire. A little more calypso. Forget the funk and the disco. A little more limbo. A little more shango.
Welcome back, everyone. It's We Culture, the first after Carnival, and our telephone line is open, the number 435-2041. You can also send us a WhatsApp message on the same number, 435-2041. You cannot call us on WhatsApp, so you can only send a WhatsApp message, all right? So let's go to the telephone and see who is with us. We Culture, good evening. Hello, good evening.
Good evening, We Culture.
Yes, good evening, caller. Go ahead, please.
Hi, good evening. I'd like to say congratulations to King Fella. Good night to Doc and to Reese. I miss you. I didn't get to see you since you gave me for W619. And I especially want to send out some flowers to Raymond Matthew and some get well wishes. I really miss you, and I see Scholar following you in the dress, but he can't dress like you. You are a special person with that dress at the Spice Basket, God bless you wherever you are. And I'll continue to pray for you. And to everyone who came home, we thank you. We thank you for being here for Carnival, and we look forward to seeing you again. God bless everyone. Good night.
Thank you very much indeed, caller. Thanks a lot indeed. So the telephone number, just in case you missed it, 435-2041. We'd like to hear your views on our just concluded Carnival celebration. Let's go back to the telephone. Release it. Good evening. We Culture, that is. Sorry.
Good night. Good night, Rishi. Good night, Scholar, and all the rest of who in the panel. Just a simple complaint I have. The kids was kind of disappointed. They could not have seen any live shows on GBN and MTV or GIS or all these things. Only Mikey Hutchison that came out and showed Juve and Pretty Mass and Monday Night Mass. So I must say kudos to him, and I was kind of disappointed though. Anyway, thank you.
Thank you, caller. Thank you very much indeed. Let me just address this because I've heard people made those comments, a few of that. For those of you who feel that GBN did not bring the carnival events, it's not that we did not want to, but we have to obtain rights from the Spicemas Corporation, and they have the events pay-per-view, and so we are not allowed to carry these events live. I know we had the Juve live on television, but as it relates to the other carnival events like the Calypso show and the Soca, and so we must get the rights, the authorization from Spicemas Corporation to do that, and we did not get that because, of course, of the pay-per-view, and so this is the reason why we are not able to bring these shows to you. All right, so it's not a case where we did not want to. We were not in a position to do that because we were not granted permission because of pay-per-view. All right, thanks. So the number again, 435-2041. You can give us a call and share your views on what just concluded Carnival celebration. Let's go back to the telephone. Oui Culture, good evening.
Good evening to you and the panel. Maybe Spicemas could consider or we play with the idea of giving the two main promoters the underperforming shows, since they have the ability to generate hype and participation. So Pan and maybe the match guy, they can give them it, and and let them name that show and carry that show for the season. And whether they want to incorporate Dress White in it or whatever, but let them bring that back up to the level as Soca Monarch level where people come out to participate, because all what they do, changing venue, the participation is not there and clashing with other events. So probably they could, consider that.
Okay. Thank you, caller. Doc, what is your take on that?
I really didn't hear what you call it.
She was suggesting that Spicemas can identify maybe two of the main promoters and give them the underperforming shows, as she said, to carry out.
But that wouldn't work. The promoters are not interested in developing a product. They are interested in a product that is well developed, and the name is promoters, is to use that for the benefits. And I'm not saying that in any derogatory way. That is just what it is. You have a product and you believe you can use it to your advantage, you use it. You can give them traditional masks like what happened in Victoria or Children Frog or Panorama. They would not be interested in those products. There was something that was said as it relates to GBN and not showing program. And while I can understand the pay-per-view with Soca Monarch, I believe it was a real bad marketing ploy to not allow Carnival to be shown. I mean, not Carnival, sorry. The Calypso final, both semi-finals and the Calypso final should be shown on television. Now, the reason why they move it from the stadium to Progress Park is because they believe it is a dying product. And they were experimenting, trying to revive it, trying to get the crowd interested. Now, if you hide it from our people, how then would they be able to fall in love with Calypso? Who would pay? I mean, if somebody are not interested, the very few people that like Calypso, I believe, let us say 70, 80% of them would actually go to the Calypso show. And next 20% might choose to stay home and they might pay. But the vast majority of people would not pay pay-per-view. So in order for us to, if you want to develop a product, you have to teach it in school, bring it in the public, make it free. That is the choice and the sacrifice that Spicemas had to make. I could understand the Soca Monarch is already at a level where you don't need any enticement. But the Calypso shows must be marketed.
Yeah, you know, interestingly, Doc, even on the last moment, we made a final request to carry the Calypso competition on radio, and that too was denied.
Well, then how our young people, how people would fall in love with Calypso. So I think, the thinking has to be, you cannot, milk that or kill the cow that you're getting the milk from. So that was one. Goddfrey, I also wanted to interject when Reese was making the point as it relates to keeping the finals on a Thursday. So then that is not a problem, but the question is what happens on a Sunday, which I come back to say is the most lucrative calendar day in our carnival year. So if that is so, then we have to find something else that is considered to be bigger and better for our Sunday production.
Doc, what from where I sit, what I think was being pushed was sort of like winners of carnival in the different competitions. Also the king and queen of the band. It's like a showcase of the different aspects of. I didn't hear anybody talk about Old Mass, but I thought like the Lions Club have the Old Mass competition in July. This now, the March Gras could have been an opportunity for the Old Mass to be showcased in front of a wider audience now, because from the March Gras they are going into Juve, and that is where you see Old Mass. So to me, there are the different things about Carnival, and it could be, as it says, it's like the big Sunday show. You can, if the parish carnivals are so developed, you can actually take like the winners in the parish carnival, like who was the Soca Monarch in Sotes, who was the Calypso Monarch where, and bring them too. Just create a big show that the viewing public has something to enjoy that is considered quality, winning material. It's like the creme of the crop happening on that big show night.
Right.
I actually like that idea.
I could see part of that twinning still with the match with the Calypso finals, and I think the approach that Uriah Peters took, that we don't waiting on the judges, but maybe after every round, immediately, just the production just flowing with the winners.
But Doc, look at the time that Calypso show went on for.
Yeah,
imagine all these ideas that we're putting out here that can happen on the March Gras. If you were to couple those things with the Calypso show, and then again, I am for that perception. We keep thinking that we are putting it over there because it is more liked over there, but really and truly, we are also saying we're putting it there because it's not stadium material. It is not performing that well. Same thing with the Queen Show. We need to work with the product. We need to work on the product. We need to have additives to it. We need to probably theme it. We need to do things with it and put it back on the main stage so that people, the perception of it is not that of a small show. I mean, wasn't Talprin show happen on big stage? The White Fete happens on big stage. All these things are big stage material. Why aren't they going to Progress Park? Why aren't they going to Victoria Park? Why aren't they going there?
Scott. Yeah.
Let me give you the artist perspective. Big stage for me is not size. And that's how REC saying, because Trinidadians have that same mentality. They have moved their Calypso finals all kind of days. Thursday, they do all kind of things, but they don't dare move the venue. As far as they're concerned, Calypso finals is in the Savannah. Mm-hmm. But I don't care about no big stage and things. No artist, no Calypso, don't care about that. They care about the big response and the intimacy. And let me also say to Richie that maybe one of the yardsticks you could use also to measure the success of the Calypso finals this year was that all bar sell out before second round started. He didn't have nothing to eat, he didn't have nothing to drink. Man had to drink this alive because
maybe the bar came for the perceived crowd.
The bar came for the perceived crowd, but the same bar had coming for the perceived crowd. They come every year.
No, we don't know that.
Yeah, you see, that's what I'm telling you.
We don't know that.
So that the yardstick, you just, I don't heard you. Stay with your do black with your hand on your head thing. That's your bad. Leave us with the Calypso thing. We want audience. We want audience right there, and we want receptivity. That's what we want. But coming back to Doc. Doc, picture this for a moment. And I'm selling ideas. I'm selling all the ideas. Picture this for a moment. At the Mardi Gras Sunday night, starts off with aspects of carnival, the drumming, the dancing, and so on, dance troops and what have you. Then we break into, let's say, some category kind of finals. So you're still having competition, but you're having social commentary, and it's not a lot of artists, probably about 3 in each: social commentary, humor, political. Mm-hmm. When you've done that, you have probably the top 3 of the Calypso singing, right? You could throw that in with a baron and a red plastic bag. Then you have the king and queen of the bands. When the king and queen of the bands done, you have the first 3 of the group, right? Mm-hmm. You could even go so far as to have, let's say, a freestyle soca competition, top 3. Because you know dance them fellas and them bad in freestyle. Top 3. Then you have the power aspects that could anything. Give results. By that time it's close to man in mango. You would tell me you won't not.
Yeah, but what I'm asking you, that is what you would have for the Mardi Gras. But are you saying that is on the Sunday night, but you're saying which the Calypso final would be on the Thursday? But on this okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You see,
that is something bad.
Let me tell you, I have always maintained that one of the weaknesses with the so-called underperforming shows has a lot to do with these shows not being promoted.
That's right.
We are experimenting, or we experimented with the Calypso competition in Progress Park this year. The semi-final was 2 weeks before the final. The results were on the same night, right? How much is it taking you to put together a wonderful television ad with the finalists and promote that for 2 weeks? How much? Kaiso Bads. How much Kaiso only have? About 18, 19, 20 scholar?
20, yeah.
20. For the first time this year, and look at it, for the first time this year, coming after a 2-year break from COVID and all of that, for the first time, a Calypso 10th in grade after a long time had about 5 shows?
Yeah.
There we go. Kaiso Bads had how much ads running, they had how much thing going on Facebook, all kind of thing. People attended the shows.
I was
and let me tell you, Kaiso Bads get so bright, they have Monarch.
And not only that, you know, Godfrey, we having our prize giving and get together next week Tuesday.
With the big cardboard check.
With a big cardboard check, now we have ceremony.
You see,
so we don't just giving money just so, you know, we giving money in ceremony.
And you see, and that's the point. Have you ever seen an ad for Panorama? The only ad I saw on television was for soca. I ain't seen no Dimash no Calypso final ad on television. Not once.
I might be wrong, but to me they were just being played in the shows before.
Yeah, but how could you do that? And then we turn around and call them underperforming. And then you have an ad advertising Soca Monarch right through. You have look at the private shows. Their ads started to run from since July.
Yeah. And it's like, what's wrong with taking the punchline of the finalists?
So how could you tell me?
People. Using it in the ad.
So you see, my contention is having the Calypso competition on a Thursday is in no way will affect the quality of the show if it is well promoted and organized.
That's right.
I am convinced of that. Now, the big question is, Doc mentioned earlier that, you know, and I think Risi mentioned it too, that we need to get into the communities and work from there to develop, you know, all aspects of the thing. Who is going to do that? Who is supposed to be doing that?
But I think that's
the Cultural Foundation.
If Spicemas are going to be, that is the responsibility of Spicemas.
Well, Spicemas is $5.
No, Spicemas' responsibility to help promote. I really don't know the budgetary constraint, right? But you only hear about Spicemas Corporation just before the launch of Carnival. But why can't you be engaging artists and others from September? And think about how you could help, one, in terms of the artists, secondly, in terms of the actual product, in terms of drawing away, because, you know, Carnival is actually a theater show that must have scenes that must be produced. So when you're producing it, what takes place on the street? What is happening in Goa? As we see, how do you liaise with the committees in the various parishes and see how you could empower them to get the resources and the information, so you could continue having workshop or continue laying out your plan. So, you know, your plan is not laid out just in May, but you have the plans developing and you get the input from the various parishes. And so when you run with it.
You see,
I mean, just a simple example. Are you responsible for Juve? If you're responsible for Juve, what is the start time for Juve? Right. If you answer that question, then you are going to put things in place to ensure that Juve start at that time. Now, are you going to have an end time for Juve? Is there a need to discuss an end time? Now, if there is a need to discuss an end time, then let us discuss that. But I personally believe that Juve should have a start time and an end time. And when the people come out with the fancy mass, there should not be a Juve band on the street. There should not be. And if you have a Monday night mass, people should leave adequately, leave with enough time so that the Monday night mass can begin. And the Monday night mass must have a start time and an end time.
The marshals are very important.
Let me tell you,
where are the marshals we see? You saw any on the street?
The marshals are very important.
That is what I'm talking about. Where is the vision?
I saw that in Juve. There were like about 4 bands on the road in St. George's. And for a while, they just pack up there.
Exactly.
Because the people are trying to sell, silver or gold or whatever. And if people are not buying, they're not moving, and they're not, it's like, you need to move on.
Exactly. That's my point.
You see, it has... Go ahead, Scott. Yeah.
Let me tell you something. I don't want that kind of receipt or that kind of receipt.
All night you don't bother with no one.
That Marshall I was talking about him from Mr. Marshall. Mr. Marshall to do this. Let me tell you something. How do you polish this thing that you're talking about? It? Marshall, what Marshall? Marshall and Bone and all this kind of thing. Let me tell you something. When they said no carnival. Jab play. I don't sit down right here between that slicker screen while we there here. You and Reese and you and Reese talk about root for Jab to this and root for Jab to that. Police and big van Jita SSU couldn't stop them. Who were police for end time for Juve for Jab? Who police in that? That you?
But scholar,
yes,
you are not policing masqueraders, you know. You are policing the instrument that the masqueraders follow. It is a start and it's a help.
That's
what it is.
No.
Because if the music is stationary,
we talk about Marshall and
Doc say you must have a start time and an end time for Juve.
Yes.
I'm asking who is going to police the end time for Juve, Mr. Marshall?
Let me tell you something. There is a difference.
Music, what does he doing?
Exactly. That is the point.
They have pan. What? Watch. Doc, a little comment.
Let me tell you something.
Are you yourself? Are you agree that when these people are put this black thing, Reese said that head does down, you know, is a different kind of man. You think these people and them care about DJ when you shut down music? They will go live and push the tail between the leg and go home.
Listen, I agree.
There is a difference.
People don't necessarily go home. But when the music is stopped, you have less people on the road. That's a stat. You have less people on the road. And usually they are in pockets.
But not only that, I believe that our people are reasonable. During the time we're talking about with the jab, that was a protest. Hold on, yes, Carla, yes. Hold on. Let me tell you something. During the time of the protest, that was a protest, right? Even during the protest, there are certain persons that say into the job, we're going that way. And the job say we're going that way. There are some captains you talk to. No, I am saying on a regular basis, you have on carnival time, you have you have the bands. The bands have captains. The bands have drivers. They are leaders of the band. You lead with the band, you start in here, you're gonna end up at that time. You cannot stop on the street. That is the instruction. You're following these marshals. They are going to keep you on. You cannot stop in one place for half an hour. After 8 or 9 or 10, whatsoever time you make, we are going to shut down all music on the street because that is it. And I believe that our people are reasonable and are understanding, and they are going to comply.
Hold on. Let me come in here a bit. Doc, let me tell you that. Now, what you say there, that could happen. Now, if Juve start 5 o'clock in the morning, all right?
Yeah.
So we start by, let's say, the post office in Granada and we coming up. What you saying there? Walking, you go walk from the post office, you come up the far ledge, all around Kirani James Boulevard. And by the time you reach by Bonds Point, half of the band get disoriented. They don't hear any music and thing again, you know. So by the time they get to the carnage, you think they met, because by that time, some drunk, some tired, band mix up, band doing all kind of thing. By that time, the whole thing get disoriented, and by then everything go under control.
Goddfrey, can I say something?
Hold on, give me 30 seconds. I fail to accept that our people are not reasonable. I fail to accept that captains of the band and have them.
But Livingston, but Doc, it's not Doc. There is a difference. It is not, and I agree with you that our people are reasonable, you know. Yes. But jab is different from our people. Jab
That is not true. That is not true.
All right.
That is okay. Let me have a flow. That is not true.
Goddfrey,
you are correct when you say that our people are more reasonable, and we need to work towards developing a more conscious kind of player, more conscious kind of jab, and all of that. Now let me tell you something. Why I know we are more. Hold on, scholar. I don't bother in with you tonight. Let me tell you why I know. Yes, let me tell you why I know we have a more reasonable people. Watch the PM. The PM there in the heart of Juve. Not a woman gonna give him a little wine up. Not a woman. Nobody. Because
that is why they don't. That is why.
We know better. We know better. We are more reasonable.
That is why they don't reasonable. Because
they can go a woman to brave enough to undo it.
If they're reasonable, they give them a little wine up.
But you see, but hold on. You see, we have to remember too.
We're more reasonable in our thought.
But listen, but we also have to remember. That there is something very important here that we're forgetting. When we speak of jab, if you really want to control jab, you have to move the DJs away from them and stick to the drums. If you stick to the drums, you might have a better chance of controlling them. But once you have this DJ and all kind of different music blasting in jab head, it disorienting them. They don't know, they don't hear it, they don't know what's going on.
I am with you.
Rishi, hold on.
Yeah?
Wait. No, let me tell you something. I don't know my jab education, no big. I'm over there standard 2 when it comes to job education. You want to live in standard them, you have a big degree. And therefore, hold on. Therefore, when I say things, I must believe that you guys are the authority. Last year, and that's what I'm going on. Are you own watch? You guys said you can't control jab. Two of you said that sit down on this program and say you cannot control jab.
You never said that.
No, we serious.
You said.
I hear all you with me own mouth, you know.
You can't control jab.
All you say jab is a mentality.
Yeah, you said you can't legislate.
Never said you can't control jab.
You see, you say you
Doc what say that you can legislate.
Let me leave you. The good thing I know what I hear.
You can say that because you had the evidence that last year's jab was well planned and orchestrated.
Well, somebody
and as Doc said, it was a protest.
It was a protest.
So jab not always protest.
It was a
but let me ask you. But Livingston, there is some but hold on. There is some contradiction here because look, you guys have said that jab is a protest mass. Jab is a protest mass. So if jab is a protest mass, if jab is a protest mass, and you try to
jab is about slavery.
According to scholar, let me leave all the thing.
That's what it was about.
It's a good thing all advise there.
You had the tape there. You forget a man you forget a man call and congratulate Doc on how he well organized and he make placard and he get all kind of drama thing and that program there though.
Okay, one thing here, and this is the next thing we have to look at. If we look at the job in 2020 and 2021, well planned out, well orchestrated with the drum. Spicemas had all the right to take a page from that and ensure that when in the space with jab playing, the jab was most likely going to play with drums away from this DJ music, particularly the standing DJ music that has become extremely destructive in our village and carnival, right? Extremely destructive. So there are a lot of bands, very authentic bands that are emerging, and the organizers, it is their responsibility to engage the captains of these bands, particularly those who are played with drums, and give them the space so that they would revel, they would play the mass in the best way, and to lock down on some of the standing DJs that are actually destroying our authentic carnival expression, because they are giving competition to everybody else that is having a costume.
Call out band have DJ. Call out bands have DJ, and it's a problem.
All right, let's take some Facebook comments because we getting close to.
Hold on, I want to ask two of them one little question. Why was the job removed from Tom? Take your Facebook.
Because of one man. Because of one man that used to complain. One man.
There has been an evolution. There has been an evolution of the job.
Every year they tell the job, don't black up them people building. When they tell job black.
Let's take some Facebook comments.
One man that used to complain. It is different. You don't see that now, Scholar. Scholar, you don't see that happening now.
What?
Scholar, look at the public bank.
Come on, Doc. Come on. No, Doc. No.
Look at the public bank. Look at Scotia. They tile their buildings. They tile it. Come on, once a year as a businessman, you cannot decide to do your annual facelifting after Carnival. Come on.
But why it should be? No, Risi, I don't know. Well, anyway, Risi, I don't agree with you with that. I don't agree with you with that. That is no.
You're doing it for Christmas. When Christmas time you paint it up. Why is it that you cannot use after Carnival as your annual facelifting? What's wrong with that?
Anyway, let's take the Facebook comments.
I'm breaking cake and you're breaking corn, ruler.
Hey.
But what you're talking about is not that happening about.
Guys, we get
somebody talk about dirty in building.
Let's take the Facebook. Let's take the Facebook comments.
That's what they used to say, and they used to beg job do dirty building. And every time they beg the job to dirty building, that's when building dirty. Because job has that rebellious spirit. If you tell job to work also, they working in the next direction.
I agree.
And you agreed to this thing last year.
Yes.
But we see agreeing now again.
Not coming now talking
what I'm saying
about them. Anyway, read the comments.
Let's take the Facebook comment because we're getting close to wrap up time.
The corporations in the tongue, they are using tiles on their buildings. All it takes is squeezy and water. Come on, squeezy and water to clean it. Not even a paid job.
You see what that had to do with the benefiting. What that had to do with that?
Watch me.
Let's take the comments.
You that hand job.
The theme tonight is don't bother with you. Okay, so let me get those comments. Right. So Marilyn Gordon said everything is starting too late. They have to change that sunset early and light is few. Make it better with time. Johnson is saying I share the same sentiments. Have 2 shows in July month. Navia is saying I won't agree for no foreign artists for Spicemas. Let's be honest. Some people only appreciate a local artist only when they are appreciated globally. So it's a give and take. Delia is saying that person is an NNP, they're anti-Deacon and they're out of place. Andrea is saying all those themed fests should take place the week before. You said it, Reese. Shane is saying so then maybe shows outside of Spicemas Corporation events can be allowed to take place the weekend before or 2 weeks before. He's also saying and let Carnival weekend be for Spicemas planned events only. Ronnie is saying more visitors are in for 8 days. Johnson is also saying SMC need to get random people to sit on a panel and ask them their opinion on what will encourage them to attend an event. Panels help large companies to test the market. Talking about focus groups here. Shane is saying with early planning and disseminated information by the corporation regarding these events will be held. They may be able to plan differently, but you're right. Andrea is saying, well, if planned properly, you can get people coming in. People plan their vacations a year before. We have to set up our product and we will get folks coming. Margaret is saying, and lots of revenue to the island. Andrea, but if the things entrenched are of poor quality, then what? Delia is saying, them private promoters may be giving SMC a little money bribe to sell out with Carnival and give them preference. Glenda is saying, people come for Carnival, not for white in the moonlight. Andrea is saying have white before the Carnival week. Andrea is saying we have to improve the quality of all Carnival-related activities so that it won't matter which time you arrive on the island, you miss one great fete or show, you're guaranteed to enjoy more because all are good. I'm just saying. Delia is saying if it's white they like in the moonlight, out Carnival that time and give them the opportunity to wear the white and let the culture grow. Susan is saying, since everyone seems to think that these non-carnival type events upset the traditional carnival and take away from regular carnival events, I want SMC to plan to take a loss next carnival and see what happens. If we just present and focus on the type of events that showcase our culture, that happens. What happens? The people are still going to come home. Let's see what they will participate in. Rose Charles is saying there are people who are going from country to country carnivals just to party. They don't care about culture. It is a business executed by foreigners. That is why some did not get their costumes. It is a scam. Margaret is saying GBN was there but had a bad location. Godfrey line postman. Rose Charles is saying, but Goddfrey, they didn't bring Parade of the Band pay-per-view. So where was GBN? Yulin is saying, I agree with you, Mr. Livingston. Ronnie is saying, I remember the year Pan boycott, but held Pan on the Carnage that Saturday night. It was good vibes. I think Panorama should be on the Carnage.
Well, receive Fallout? All right, let me see if I could fall in here. So where did she reach, boy? Right, yeah. So Yulin is saying, I agree with you, Mr. Livingston. Ronnie Slinger is saying, I remember the year Pan boycott, but right, so that went. Michelle Kojo, they could have a back in time show where all the winners from a year ago would come on the night of the competition with one song. Andre saying, great points, Risi. Patricia Vento says, pay-per-view was a real mess. I'm glad I didn't order it. Pay-per-view was a scam. Glenda said, I agree, Risi. We need to continue to improve and rebrand the product year after year. Zavid says, looking at the flyer for Panorama, not a still orchestra name on the flyer. Damien Frederick, good night, Grenada. Rose Charles, what is the role of the Cultural Foundation? Honesto, good night all. Congratulations to Scholar for winning the 10th crown and seeing that he asked Kit to go home. Honesto is asking his favorite Calypsonians to go home softly and tenderly. Honesto asking Scholar to go home. You already won 10 times already. Leave it now for your son and other. Take your crown and retirement home. Go home, Scholar. Right. Damien says Jab is drums and shell. Risi, continue.
Okay, so sorry about that. My laptop just discharged. Michelle is saying they could have a back in time show. Where
I took that. I took that. Yeah, so you could start with Cynthia. I think I heard.
Okay. All right. David still saying, looking at the flyer for Panorama, not a still orchestra's name on the flyer. Then we have Rose Charles saying, what is the role of the Cultural Foundation? I was also asking that to Doc. Jose saying, good night all. Congratulations to Scholar for winning. You did that already?
Yeah, just did that one. So you can go after that one, yeah.
Right. So Damien is saying, Jab is drums and shell. Cynthia is saying, I think I heard him say that he was giving up the competition, but will be there to assist the young ones. Yes, he did. Amelia is saying, I agree with Doc. There must be a start and end time for Juve and the other events. Proper organization is key. There must be a proper structure in place for Carnival, period. Susan is saying, a real Jab don't need music. It's drum, shell, horn, and chain. Jose is saying, we Ali Gill spoil the Carnival because wherever you heard the head of the SMC give a day before Carnival a holiday, the Sunday before Carnival, I'm talking about Ali Gill, make Carnival history. Amelia is saying, I wish to recommend Mr. Livingston Nelson as a key player for SMC. Margaret is saying, is she for real? I don't know. Dominic is saying, good night, thanks. And again, Rachel is saying, Doc has to remember that the so-called festive seasons are Easter, Carnival, Christmas. So nobody ain't organizing cruise in September for data balls. September money is to send children to school. Jose is saying, I want to wish Anderson a speedy recovery, and I hope he will be able to participate in the upcoming event. Jose is saying, I think all white shows and other shows should be a week before Carnival. And he's also saying, please get rid of Ali Gill. He don't like Sunday night Dimash Gras. Glenda is saying years ago there were jab band. They were even kept together with chains. Today, everybody who go to town get themselves dirty and play jab. Glenda, you talk facts there. And Joan wants to know what is jab all about.
All right, so that's the Facebook comments. So guys, we only have basically 3 minutes remaining on the program. So I have one question for the three of you. Going forward, quickly going forward. So we've experienced Spicemas 2022 with its flaws, with whatever happened and all of that. 2023, what should be the main focus? And Risi, let me start with you.
Right. So 2023, for me, it is about going into the parish communities. It is about strengthening the committees that are there, and I think the Cultural Foundation have a lot to do with that, even though we're talking a lot of SMC. Strengthening the committees that actually put on carnival. We need to not just look at the structure in the community, but also the people with talent. We need to teach people more about wire bending, teach people about the consciousness of the jab, teach them about the different aspects of the mass, encourage people to put on mass bands, because we saw that there was a real kind of lull in most of the areas when it comes to produced bands, especially for children. We need to start down there, and I think once we have better parish carnivals, when it comes to like the shows and all of that, the soca monarch, the calypso monarch, or if you don't have calypso monarch within the parish, at least encourage the tents, help them with funding to be able to have these shows. And I think once we do that from that level, we would not have answered what is happening in 2023, but we would have been in a step in the right direction for better carnivals to come. We also need to continue testing, because we've tested the Thursday Calypso. I think it was good. Maybe we can test the Thursday Calypso back in the stadium and see how that goes. So we have 2 venues to look at on a Thursday to compare, right? Then we can look at bringing back the Queen Show, because the Queen Show definitely cannot happen in the Spice Baskets. Just let us test. Let us look at testing, and let us be true to the thing, because oftentimes we don't wait long enough to see the results. We don't have that sustainability, the longevity that is needed to truly test something. We try something, like for example, we say we're gonna do this semi-final night. The first semi-final night, it didn't work out how we expected, and we blank it one time. We don't care if it would pick up in the next show. We just blank things. So we need to test things and be true to it when we're testing, so that we can really truly say, guys, we tried this is not working, or we see some kind of spark, and maybe if we put more into it, we would get it where we have to get. So we have to be honest.
Right. Doc, the focus.
My thing is that we need to have a vision for Carnival, and we must treat it as a show, and the show must be managed. There must be start time, end time, there must be different scenes, there must be different players entering the stage at different times. So for me, there has to be a time when that is for Juve, and there must be a time when the Phantom has come out. I really echo part of Risi's sentiment in terms of the factory for the production of the creative industry has to be in the villages, in the various parishes. So we must allow for them to grow, and we must give them the room to grow and to showcase what they have to do. And finally, I believe Spicemas, or whatever body replaces Spicemas, must have these kind of forum and get these kind of feedback. So you have a plan, that is your plan, and you push it to the nation, and you expect consultation and feedback from the nation, and you take that, you refine it, and you come again. That is the only way we can get forward. We can go forward by having this open dialogue, and see that is what we want for our carnival. What says you, right? So irrespective of what plan they come with, they come to the nation and say that is our plan. What says you? And then they refine that, and we move forward. And every year we can then continue that experiment. But at the forefront of that discussion is how do we put at our pinnacle our traditional and our indigenous acts. That is totally 100% belief.
All right. Skulls, there is no doubt Carnival need a booster. A lot of things. A lot of things happening that shouldn't happen, and a lot of things that not happening should be happening. Make that make sense.
That is our final comment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's our one, right? Because I find you asking question, and the question you're asking, I mean,
essay question. Well, make it make sense. Make it make sense.
Them things are easy to answer. Before I even say anything, I want to say a special good night to a special lady who's always listening, always watching. A lady by the name of Phyllis Duncan. Her daughter asked me to shout out, and her daughter is probably the most beautiful person that I've met for a long time in terms of customer service. You see, you will like that lady. She works with JetBlue. Amazing. Amazing. I mean, if I had a lot of money, every time I went and book a flight to JetBlue, just for these people to handle me.
Phyllis Duncan's daughter, right?
Lovely.
Remember that.
Yeah. So I'm Goddfrey by. I think Doc, Reese, everybody, we put a finger on a lot of the things. A lot has to happen, and I expect that because there was so much wrongs happening this year that we could have a special program just to chronicle all the wrongs and all the missteps.
Well, next week.
Yeah, a lot of stupidity.
Not that free, man.
The wrongs of Carnival. Next week.
No, we should go back there. I think we did too much this.
Why?
By the way, I think we ain't even talk about.
You see, we make some blanket statements tonight, but it is only when you pinpoint the wrongs and so on that you can run. Because let me tell you something. We speak all, and you are speaking all, I speak all, I speak in there. Let me tell you something. This year presented us with a great opportunity to learn. Sunday is good at all this kind of old stupidness and them and mawet happening, so that we could learn. The problem is that traditionally and by experience, carnival committees don't learn. They repeat all the mistakes that they made in the past. So all you can say, all I want about going to school and going to parish and whatnot. We saying that now. Today is the 12th or 8th month.
There was no We Culture before.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
So now there is We Culture. They are hearing us, fella.
Yes, but Doc,
you don't listen.
You need to chronicle all the nonsense what take place. You just want to skip over them, make some nice blanket pretty statement to make us look as though we're bright and we think. And then we done, Mr. Man, we have to let me tell you, some real nonsense take place this year. And I ain't nothing to talk about this thing and them. And when we spot a light on them, hopefully We Culture could put things so that they would not repeat themselves, because we don't want these things on them to repeat themselves. And understanding the history of carnival committees and so on. These things are not coming back and happen again, you know. But I think one of the places that we could start, Goddfrey, and I'm serious about this, the Spicemas needs financing, proper financing. We could speak all kind of thing about go away and go away and go away and go away. But when you budget $800,000 for Spicemas, you're ready. That is just total absolute garbage. And governments came, governments go. And the budgeting, big man going and pass budget $800,000 for Spicemas. Spicemas that racks up in terms of our gross domestic product. It contributes so much to it. and you treat Spicemas as not $800,000. I keep saying, in St. Kitts and them little place there, how much people St. Kitts have? And St. Kitts, the government, $3 million for carnival. So we have to be more serious and pump, because I will be honest, if I am the head of Spicemas and we beat up Ali Gill, we beat up who and we beat up who, may I know how this fella and them doesn't make it with $800,000. If I am the head of Spicemas,
self-funded.
When they give me the $800,000, how they give me so I give them back and I'm going about my business? I don't want that. Because you cannot hold carnival. Carnival, you have to put money into the thing. All the things that Doc is advocating for and Reese is advocating, they cost. There's a cost related to this thing. You cannot improve the product if you do not inject money into the thing. And then all of the businesses and so on that make money, year after they eat some nice menu, all around the mouth is butter like cat and they licking. And they ain't putting nothing much into the thing. So
that's what I'm telling you.
That's where you have to. I mean, we have. So I wanted to go from there. The government, the business community, and so on needs to put more dollars into Spicemas, and then when you see Spicemas Corporation play the fool and they don't develop and they don't think, we could beat them. But all for now, I mean, I don't know what Ali Gill and them.
We can't eat them too hard.
No, we can't eat them too hard, because I mean, what you could do with that money?
Yeah.
It's
as if it's self-funded, and it has a lot of injection that need to happen before this could even reach halfway self-funded.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of the things, it does make sense, and we Scholar is right. We've made some blanket statements, but I think it's important to really identify some of the issues that is creating, the problems, and really put them out there, so that they can, you can actually step on them and deal with it. And yes, $800,000. That ain't working. I also believe
it's actually $1 million this year.
Yeah.
That's $1 million this year.
That still can work.
Several other sponsorship.
That can work.
You know, in maths and things they just say round up.
Yeah, that's wrong it up. That's wrong it up. I don't think so. Not that's just wrong though. That's just talk. They don't know additional money. That's wrong though. But I also believe that they need to probably take a serious look at the organization itself. Sometimes I get the feeling that some of the people in some of these organizations, it's more like a job, but it takes a lot more than that. You must have a love for the thing. You must have a serious love for the thing. Look at Scholar, for example. Scholar had to go and sing to try to win the 10 crown. He had to make sure he tent walking. He had to make sure Philandi a Kaiso. He had to make sure who a Kaiso. And on top of all of that, he was successful. And the reason why is because he liked the thing.
Huge.
He liked the thing.
So,
if you don't,
what you say? This Scholar lie, you retiring?
No, I just calling Jamo and he going back.
We no road match yet.
No, we don't want the road match. I just calling Jamo to time.
Everybody do you lie. Everybody can do you lie.
You win Panorama already?
I will not be back until the first price go up to $100.
Anyway, I believe the people who are involved, they must have a serious love for it. And when you have that kind of love for the thing, a lot of ideas flow, and it's easier to come up with ways to find solutions to the problems when they arise. So that is another thing. The other thing, they need to start to plan early. You can't wait until, look, if you ask Scholar now, Who's singing in Legends next year when we return? He could tell you. The cast for Legends in concert at the return in 2023 has already been finalized. The music is already available. Everything is done. All we're waiting for is to launch in January and start to promote. And that's the whole point. You see, the thing is, if, for example, we run into a problem somewhere along the line, you have time to fix. So these are some of the key things that need to be paid attention to. Early planning, put things in place, and so when the time comes around, it's practically smooth sailing. Yes, there would always be little hiccups here and there, but it wouldn't be of the nature that could cripple the product. So these are some of the things I definitely would like to see happen, and I think there are a lot of people out there who have great ideas, who can get things done, and maybe the powers that be need to engage people, or put out a thing, and people who want to be part of the thing, do an application, send it in, and you might be surprised to see how much people.
Of times that is a strategy that they need to employ.
Do that.
Often
and
we nominate people because we feel they're good at this, but they don't necessarily have the time or the passion.
Exactly. Get people involved, and let's make the thing happen. So guys, that's all the time we have. We're way over. I thank you all so very much. It's good to be back after a little break. And there is so much to talk about, and so much that we plan to talk about, and we can't even touch yet.
Celebrate 2 years, eh?
Yeah, we celebrate
2 years.
Yes. No, not yet.
Listen, we have it already.
Well, yeah.
Let me tell you. Next week, the date that I came on was the 20th of August, which was a Thursday. The 20th of August is Saturday this year.
Okay.
So, and you all started like a week or two before I came on. So
2 weeks, yeah.
Already passed it.
Yeah. So guys, thank you very much. We're looking forward to next week, and folks, we thank you also very much. And I'm constantly seeing the numbers. The viewership is continuing to increase significantly.
And
consistently in the past 3 weeks, we're hitting over 5,000 plus views on Facebook, and this is significant. So I thank you all, and we will continue to do our best to try to bring you, the program that you enjoy. So enjoy the rest of your evening, enjoy your weekend. I think Scarlett, you jump up tomorrow?
Jump up with?
Yeah, jump up tomorrow on the carnage?
Yeah, jump up tomorrow.
Yeah, jump up. So go and make you look at jump up and everything, and right away let's start the plan. And don't forget folks, July 8, 2023, the Return of Legends in concert. Guys, thank you very much and have a good night. All the best.
You pay for that ad?
Me?
You understand?
I don't understand.
We can do that.
Exactly. We have to pay for. Well, try and I'll go see if I can do it.
We can do that.
Try and I'll try. What do you mean? You try, you can do that.
Don't say the whole that's all. Whatever.
Now you call taking legends forward.
Shango.